Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Data Structures and Algorithm in Python course. In today's lecture, we'll be solving another problem on linked list. So let's see. So what is the problem? The problem is telling you will be given two sorted linked list, list 1 and list 2, and you have to merge those two linked list and make a single linked list that is also in ascending order, sorted array, right? In sorted format. So let's say you are given the first linked list 1 to 4 and the second linked list 1, 3, 4, right? Then when you merge them in sorted order, so in ascending order, what it will look like? It will look like 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Means, okay, what is the minimum element between these two linked list? 1, right? Because 1 is present here and 1 is present here also. So first we take 1 from any node, from any linked list, right? Let's say I take first node from the first linked list. Okay. Then what is minimum? Minimum is again 1, so I just link them. Then what is minimum from them? 2 is minimum, right? So 2 is connected. Then what is minimum? 3, right? So 3 from the second list, right? So 3 is added. Then what is the minimum? Then 4, right? So we can take 4 from either of this list, right? Let's see how we can do this. Let's say our first linked list is let's say 2, okay, then 4, then let's say 7, okay, then let's say 10, right? And our second linked list is 1, then let's say 3, then let's say 5, okay, then 6, then let's say 8, then let's say 9, then 15, okay, right? This is our linked list 1, this is our linked list 2. Okay, now we have to merge this two linked list. How we can do that? How we can do that? To do that, first thing what we have to do, we have to create a pointer. For that, before that, we have to create a dummy node. We have to create a first a dummy node. So let's say I have created a dummy node with -1 value, and let's name it as head 2, right? Head 2. Okay, that will be my result. Okay, now let's say I take one pointer. I take a pointer. So let's remove this. Let's change the color. Let's take I take a pointer, p pointer. Okay, p is initially pointing to here. Now let's take I take two other pointer, p1 for list 1 and p2 for list 2. Okay, now let's see how we can do. Let's see how we can do. Okay, so there are basically three pointer, one for the resulted linked list, one for the first linked list, one for the second linked list. Now I will compare them. I'll compare them. Compare p1 with p2. I will compare p1 with p2. Now what I will compare? Compare their value. Compare their value. So if p1 is less than p2, then I will make p2 dot next as p1, because whatever is minimum that I will take, right? First that I will take. So here from p1 and p2, whose value is minimum? P2, right? Whose value is minimum? P2. Then what we'll do? I will make a link. So p2 dot next, sorry, p dot next will be actually my p2. So p will be p dot next will be equals to p2, because now current value of p2 is less than p1, right? That means one will come here. Okay, one will come here. Let's change the color. So let's do this one. Okay, one will come here. Okay, that is done. Then what we'll do? We'll move our p2, because we take the value of p2 right now, right? So we'll move the p2 pointer. Okay, now what we'll do? We'll do the same thing. Again we'll compare the value between p1 and p2. Then whose value is minimum? P1 or p2? P1, right? P1. So then what we'll do? We'll make p dot next as so here it is this, right? So here what we'll do? We'll take p1. we'll take P1. So here what we'll do, P dot next equals to P1, right? Whatever the minimum, that value will be taken. Okay, P1. Now we'll move the P1 in. So P1 will be here. Now what we'll do, we'll do the same thing. We'll compare the value between P1 and P2. Which is minimum, P1 or P2? P2, right? Then we'll connect P2 here. P dot next equals to P2. Okay, then we'll move our pointer. Let's say this will be P2. Okay, P2 will be P2 dot next. Now again we'll compare. So what is minimum, P1 or P2? P1, right? P1. Then we'll make P1 dot next. So P is for this resultant list. Okay. Now P dot next will be P1, right? That means 4. Okay. Then again we'll move our pointer. So P1 will be shifted to here, right? P1 will be shifted to here. That will be our P1. Again we'll compare them, P1 or P2, right? P1 with P2. So P1 is 7, P2 is 5, right? Which is minimum? P2, right? So we'll write P2 here. So we'll write P2 here. So it has been 5. Then we'll move our P2. We'll move our P2 to here, right? Then again we'll compare which is minimum, P1 or P2? P2, right? P2, right? So here again we'll take P2 here, 6. Okay. And move our P2 pointer from here to here. Okay, now we'll compare P1 with P2. Which is minimum? P1, right? Which is minimum? P1. Okay. Then we'll take P1 here, P1 here, that means 7. Okay, done. And move our P1 pointer from here to here, P1, right? Now again we'll compare P1 with P2, which is minimum? P2, right? Which is minimum? P2. Then what we'll do? Then we'll write 8 here. Okay, 8. Then we'll move our pointer P2 from here to here, P2, right? Okay. Now we'll compare P1 with P2. This is 9, this is 10. Which is minimum? P2 is minimum, right? Then what we'll do? We'll again link P2 here, 9, right? Then what we'll do? We'll move this P2 from here to here. Okay, P2 is here. Okay. Now what we'll do? Again we'll check P1 with P2. Which value is less? P1, right? Which value is less? P1, right? Then we'll connect this with P1, 10. And we'll move our P1 to none. We'll move our P1 to none. So P1 will be here, right? P1 will be here. It is P1. Now P1 is none. So none means we'll not get any value here. But still P2 is there, right? There is no value here, right? So let's say, so in P2 value is 15, right? In spite of, let's say, currently there is one element, right? But assume there are more values like 15, then let's say 18, then 20, okay, or 21, 50, right? There are more values here. But P1 is none here. P1 is none here. But P2 have some value. That means we can't compare them. We can't compare them anymore, right? We can't compare them again. Because there is no such value here. Here we'll get the value, but here is not the value. Then what we'll do? In this situation, so this operation will do until when P1 is not equals to none, and P2 is also not equals to none, right? Only then we can compare and we can create like this. But let's say in any situation one of them are none, then we can't compare, right? Then what will be our answer? Then we'll be check our single value. So let's say P1 is none, then we'll check if P2 is none or not. Then if P2 is not none, so P2 is here not none, right? P2 has some value. Then what we'll do? we just directly connect this link to here. Means now what will happen if p1 is none, that means p dot next we can directly link to p2, and that will be our answer. And at last will be written our head, will be written our this head to this new list. Now let's say here p1 is none. Now let's say in by chance p2 becomes none. Let's say p2 becomes none and p1 has some values to it. P1 has some values to it. Okay, let's say p1 has some values to it. Then what we'll do? We'll make p1 dot next equals to, sorry, p dot next equals to p1. Same rule applies for both. When any of them are empty, any of them are none, basically we can directly then connect with the other node. Then what we'll do? These nodes are already sorted, right? This node are already in sorted manner. So now we don't have to do anything. We can directly link that, and that will be our basically the answer. Right? I hope now you have understood how we can do this. Let's see how we can code this. So what is the first thing? First thing, we have to create a head node, right? Dummy head node. Okay. Then at last, what we have to return? So we have taken this head node as dummy node, right? -1. This head node as dummy node. Then in the answer, we have to return this. We have to return this, not this one. We have to return this one. That means we have to return head to dot next, not head to. We have to return head to dot next, right? So let's see. I can write this. So let's create a pointer. Let's say head to equals to. Let's create a new list. A list node. Okay, -1. And let's take a pointer that will initially pointing to head to. And let's do take two more pointer p1 for list 1. Okay, and p2 for list 2. Those are basically heads, head of list 1 and head of list 2. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll check, we'll compare them. So while p1 not equals to none and p2 not equals to none, only then we can compare, right? So what we'll do, so we'll compare if so here you can see this node has two things, right? Value and next pointer, right? So we'll compare with the value. If p1 dot val is less than p2 dot val, that means p1 is smaller than p2, right? So what we'll do, we'll move that p1 p dot next equals to p1. Okay, then what we'll do, we'll move our pointer p dot next equals to, sorry, equals to p dot next, and p1 equals to p1 dot next. We'll move the pointer. Okay, or else what we'll do, uh, if p1 is less than p2, that means we'll take p1, but otherwise if the value are same, then we can even take any of them. So even if it equals to or greater than or equals to, then what will do, p dot next, sorry, dot next equals to p2, right? Then move our pointer p equals to p dot next, and p2 equals to p2 dot next. Okay, this is done. Okay, now let's say anyhow p2 becomes none, p2 becomes none, but p1 is not none. So this condition is valid for when both are not none, both has some value, right? Because otherwise it will get an error, right? It will throw an error. So let's say anyhow p2 is none and p1 is not none, right? Then what will happen? So for that we have to check if p1 is not none, then what we'll do, we'll directly connect p dot next to with p1. Okay, right? Otherwise, let's say if p2 not equals to none, then what we'll do, p dot next equals to p2, right? And at last we have to return p2 dot next, right? Let's run this. Let's see. Okay, list. Yeah, I made a mistake here. Let's run this. It is accepted. Let's submit. Yeah, it is accepted. I hope now you have understood the problem. How we can match two sorted linked lists. This is only valid for if two linked lists are sorted. Otherwise, it will not.